The map of achievement always starts with personal responsibility. Not blame, not excuses, responsibility. The moment you accept that where you are is largely because of the choices you've made, you also gain the power to choose differently. You don't have to like the truth, but once you accept it, you can work with it. Most people spend their lives reacting instead of directing, drifting instead of designing. They wait for motivation, better circumstances, or the perfect moment, not realizing that achievement begins the instant a person accepts full responsibility for where they are and where they are going. Responsibility is not about guilt or regret. It is about ownership. The moment you own your results, you also own the power to change them. Life responds to direction, not wishes. When you stop blaming the economy, your background, your past, or other people, you step onto the first and most important point of the map of achievement. Responsibility sharpens awareness. You begin to see that every day is shaped by choices, what you read, who you listen to, how you spend your time, and what you tolerate. Nothing changes until you do. External circumstances may influence you, but they do not control you unless you allow them to. The person who understands this no longer waits to be rescued. They become the architect of their own progress. Even setbacks start to look different. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" the responsible person asks, "What can this teach me, and how can I use it?" That shift alone can turn failure into instruction and disappointment into direction. Taking responsibility also builds personal power. Power does not come from controlling others, it comes from controlling yourself. When you accept responsibility, you stop negotiating with your weaknesses and start strengthening your standards. You no longer excuse poor habits as personality traits or bad results as bad luck. You recognize that small, repeated choices compound into big outcomes. What you do daily matters more than what you do occasionally. Responsibility brings discipline into focus, not as force, but as alignment between who you want to become and what you do each day. Many people avoid responsibility because they fear pressure. But responsibility does not add pressure, it removes confusion. When you know the results are up to you, your energy becomes focused instead of scattered. You stop chasing shortcuts and start building foundations. You realize that success is not something you pursue, it is something you attract by becoming a better thinker, a better planner, and a better decision maker. Responsibility pushes you to raise your personal standards, not because someone is watching, but because you are. Another powerful effect of responsibility is confidence. Confidence is not loud talk or bold claims, it is quiet certainty built through kept promises to yourself. Each time you take responsibility for your actions, correct your course, and follow through, you strengthen trust in yourself. And self-trust is essential for long-term achievement. When challenges come, and they always do, you don't panic or collapse. You adjust, you persist. You know that progress is possible because you have proven to yourself that you can respond with intention. Responsibility also reshapes your relationship with time. Instead of wasting time complaining about how little you have, you begin to respect it. You plan better. You prioritize growth over comfort. You invest time in learning, thinking, and improving skills because you understand that today's preparation determines tomorrow's position. People who accept responsibility do not wait for inspiration, they act first, knowing that inspiration often follows action. In the end, responsibility is the starting point because without it, no other principle works. Goals without responsibility are fantasies. Discipline without responsibility is forced. Learning without responsibility is entertainment. But when responsibility is present, everything else becomes effective. You stop asking life for permission and start giving yourself direction. You realize that the map of achievement does not begin somewhere outside of you. It begins with a decision inside you. The decision to say, from this point forward, I take ownership. And once that decision is made, the journey truly begins. Once responsibility is accepted, the next crucial element on the map of achievement is purpose. Without purpose, effort becomes exhausting and progress feels random. Many people work hard, stay busy, and remain frustrated because they are active without being directed. Purpose is the internal compass that tells you not just how to move, but why you are moving. When the reason is clear, endurance increases. When the reason is weak, even small obstacles feel heavy. Purpose does not require having your entire future planned. It begins with a clear sense of direction. Knowing what you want to move toward is far more powerful than knowing every step you will take. Purpose organizes energy. It turns scattered effort into focused action. When you wake up with a sense of meaning behind your activities, discipline feels less like sacrifice and more like alignment. You are no longer pushing yourself forward. You are being pulled by something important. A strong purpose also stabilizes emotions. Without it, moods control performance. On good days, you move forward. On bad days, you retreat. Purpose creates consistency. It allows you to act even when you don't feel like it, because you understand that feelings are temporary, but direction is permanent. Purpose gives you something to return to when doubt shows up. It becomes the anchor that keeps you steady when motivation fades. Many people confuse purpose with passion, but passion comes and goes. Purpose is deeper. Passion is emotional energy. Purpose is personal meaning. Passion can excite you, but purpose sustains you. You may not feel passionate every day, but when your actions are tied to purpose, you remain committed. Commitment is what builds results over time. The map of achievement is not designed for those who rely on enthusiasm alone. It is designed for those who rely on intention. Purpose also improves decision-making. When your direction is clear, choices become simpler. You don't have to debate every opportunity or distraction because you measure everything against your purpose. Does this move me closer to what matters, or does it pull me away? This clarity protects your time and energy. It helps you say no without guilt and yes without hesitation. Purpose reduces noise and sharpens focus in a world full of distractions. Another powerful effect of purpose is resilience. Setbacks are inevitable. Plans fail, progress slows. But when your purpose is strong, obstacles do not feel personal. They feel instructional. You stop seeing challenges as signals to quit and start seeing them as reminders to refine your approach. Purpose gives pain context. It transforms difficulty into part of the process rather than proof of failure. People without purpose quit when it gets hard. People with purpose adjust and continue. Purpose also shapes identity. Over time, what you consistently move toward becomes part of who you are. You begin to see yourself as a person with direction, not just activity. This identity shift is critical because behavior always follows self-image. When you see yourself as someone with a mission, you naturally raise your standards. You protect your habits. You respect your commitments. Purpose quietly demands excellence without shouting for attention. Importantly, purpose grows as you grow. It is not a fixed destination, it is an evolving direction. As you learn more, your purpose becomes clearer and more refined. But it only reveals itself through action. Waiting to find your purpose without movement is like waiting for clarity in the dark without turning on the light. Action brings awareness. Progress brings clarity. Purpose strengthens as you walk in it. In the end, purpose is what turns responsibility into momentum. Responsibility gives you control, but purpose gives you meaning. Together, they form a powerful foundation. When you know that your life is yours to direct, and you know where you want to direct it, achievement stops being accidental. It becomes intentional. And once your actions are guided by purpose, every step, whether forward or sideways, still moves you closer to becoming who you were meant to be. After responsibility establishes control and purpose provides direction, the next essential element on the map of achievement is discipline. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction, but in truth, discipline is freedom. It is the ability to choose long-term benefit over short-term comfort. Most people are ruled by convenience, emotion, and impulse, which keeps their results small and unpredictable. Discipline changes that. It places you in charge of your actions regardless of mood, environment, or circumstance. Discipline begins with small, daily decisions. It is rarely the dramatic effort that shapes a life. It is the quiet routine repeated over time. What you do when no one is watching matters more than what you do when everyone is watching. Small disciplines practiced daily create strength, confidence, and momentum. Likewise, small neglects repeated daily quietly build weakness and regret. Life rewards consistency, not intensity. Discipline is the commitment to show up even when enthusiasm has disappeared. One of the greatest benefits of discipline is stability. When your actions are governed by discipline, rather than emotion, your progress becomes predictable. You no longer depend on inspiration to act. You act because you have decided who you are and what you expect from yourself. This consistency compounds. Each disciplined action builds trust in yourself, and self-trust fuels further action. Over time, discipline becomes less about effort and more about identity. You do not force yourself to act. You act because that is who you have become. Discipline also protects you from distraction. The world is full of opportunities that look appealing but lead nowhere. Without discipline, you chase many things and master nothing. Discipline helps you stay committed to the few things that truly matter. It keeps you aligned with your purpose when distractions try to pull you sideways. Focus is not about saying yes to the right things. It is about saying no to everything else. Discipline gives you the strength to maintain that focus. Another powerful aspect of discipline is its role in character development. Results may impress others, but discipline transforms you. It builds patience, resilience, and self-respect. Each time you do what you said you would do, especially when it is uncomfortable, you reinforce a powerful internal message: you are reliable. This reliability becomes the foundation of confidence. You stop doubting yourself because you have evidence that you follow through. Discipline also sharpens your use of time. Time is the one resource distributed equally, yet used very differently. Disciplined people plan their days instead of reacting to them. They decide in advance how their time will be invested. This does not mean rigid schedules. It means intentional living. When you respect your time, you respect your future. Discipline ensures that your daily actions are aligned with the life you are trying to build, rather than the comfort you are trying to protect. Importantly, discipline does not eliminate enjoyment, it enhances it. When you delay gratification, the reward becomes richer. When you earn progress, satisfaction deepens. Comfort without discipline leads to boredom. Discipline followed by reward leads to fulfillment. The disciplined person enjoys rest more because it is deserved, not escaped into. They enjoy success more because it is built, not borrowed. Discipline is also the bridge between intention and outcome. Goals remain ideas until discipline turns them into actions. Talent without discipline fades. Opportunity without discipline is wasted. Discipline ensures that progress continues even when conditions are not ideal. It keeps you moving when results are slow and effort feels unnoticed. It reminds you that success is not built in moments of ease, but in moments of choice. Over time, discipline simplifies life. Instead of constant decision-making, you operate by standards. You no longer ask yourself whether to do the right thing. You already decided. This reduces mental fatigue and increases efficiency. Life becomes clearer when your rules are clear. Discipline creates order, and order creates momentum. In the long run, discipline becomes less about control and more about alignment. Your actions align with your values, your habits align with your goals, and your daily behavior aligns with your vision. When that alignment exists, achievement becomes inevitable. Discipline is not a single act, it is a lifestyle. And once it becomes part of who you are, progress is no longer something you chase, it is something you produce. After discipline shapes behavior and creates consistency, the next vital element on the map of achievement is learning and personal growth. Progress does not come from working harder alone, it comes from thinking better. Many people repeat the same year of effort over and over, wondering why their results never change. The answer is simple: effort without growth only produces more of the same. When you grow, everything you touch improves: your decisions, your strategies, and your outcomes. Learning begins with humility. You must accept that what you know today is not enough to produce what you want tomorrow. This is not discouraging, it is empowering. It means the future is not limited by your past, only by your willingness to improve. The moment you decide to learn, you place yourself on an upward path. Growth shifts you from reacting to circumstances to anticipating them. It allows you to see opportunities others overlook and solutions others never consider. Personal development is not about collecting information, it is about transformation. Reading a book, listening to a lesson, or attending a seminar only has value when it changes how you think and act, Learning must be applied to be useful. Knowledge unused is merely potential. Applied knowledge becomes power. Each new idea that you put into practice expands your capability and increases your confidence. You begin to trust your judgment because it is informed by understanding rather than guesswork. Learning also improves the quality of your decisions. Every result is the outcome of a decision, and every decision is influenced by what you know. When your knowledge expands, your choices improve. Better choices lead to better habits, and better habits lead to better results. This is why growth affects every area of life, not just one. Improve your thinking, and your income, relationships, health, and leadership all begin to improve together. Another important aspect of learning is exposure. You cannot think bigger if you only expose yourself to small ideas. What you read, listen to, and observe daily shapes your worldview. If your environment feeds limitation, fear, or mediocrity, growth becomes difficult. But when you intentionally expose yourself to higher standards and broader perspectives, your expectations rise. You begin to see what is possible instead of what is familiar. Exposure expands belief, and belief expands action. Learning also helps you recover faster from mistakes. Without growth, failure feels final. With growth, failure becomes feedback. You no longer attach your identity to outcomes, you attach it to improvement. This mindset keeps you moving forward, even when things don't work out as planned. Every setback becomes a lesson, and every lesson becomes progress. Growth turns experience into wisdom. Consistent learning also prevents stagnation. Comfort is dangerous because it creates the illusion of stability. The world changes whether you do or not. Skills that were valuable yesterday may become obsolete tomorrow. Those who commit to lifelong learning remain adaptable. They stay relevant because they stay curious. Growth keeps you flexible in a rigid world and prepared in uncertain times. Importantly, learning strengthens discipline and purpose. When you understand the reasons behind your actions, commitment deepens. You are more willing to stay disciplined when you know the long-term payoff. Learning connects today's effort with tomorrow's reward. It reminds you that progress is not random. It is earned through preparation and understanding. Personal growth also enhances your influence. As you learn, you become more valuable to others. You communicate more clearly, lead more effectively, and contribute more meaningfully. Success is rarely achieved alone, and growth increases your ability to work with and inspire people. Value attracts opportunity. The more you grow, the more doors open, not by chance, but by qualification. In the end, learning is the multiplier on the map of achievement. Discipline keeps you moving, but learning ensures you are moving in the right direction. Without growth, effort plateaus. With growth, progress accelerates. When you commit to becoming a better thinker and a better learner, you don't just improve your results. You improve the quality of your entire life. As growth sharpens thinking and expands capability, the final essential element on the map of achievement is patience combined with persistence. This principle determines whether everything you have built will mature or be abandoned. Many people start with excitement, accept responsibility, discover purpose, apply discipline, and even commit to learning, yet they quit too early. Not because the process doesn't work, but because it doesn't work instantly. Achievement follows natural laws, and one of the most important is time. Progress is often invisible before it is obvious. Seeds grow in the dark long before they break the surface. In the early stages, effort seems unrewarded, and improvement feels slow. This is where impatience whispers doubt. People begin to question the plan, their ability, or the value of their effort. But impatience does not speed results, it only weakens commitment. Patience, on the other hand, strengthens vision. It allows you to stay steady while results are still forming. Persistence is patience in action. It is the decision to continue despite discomfort, delay, or discouragement. Persistence does not mean repeating the same mistakes endlessly. It means staying committed while adjusting your approach. When something doesn't work, the persistent person learns, refines, and tries again. This flexibility is crucial. Quitting is permanent, adjusting is progress. Persistence keeps you in the game long enough for growth to compound. One of the greatest challenges of patience is comparison. In a world of visible highlights and instant updates, it is easy to feel behind. You see others achieving faster and assume you are failing, but every journey has a different timeline. Some results appear quickly and plateau, others grow slowly and last. Comparison steals focus and weakens resolve. Patience returns attention to your own path, reminding you that steady progress beats rushed success. Patience also builds emotional strength. When you can endure delay without frustration, you gain control over your reactions. This emotional discipline protects your confidence. You stop interpreting temporary setbacks as permanent defeats. Instead, you see them as part of the process. This mindset keeps effort consistent and prevents emotional burnout. Those who lack patience often burn out not from hard work, but from unrealistic expectations. Persistence also develops resilience. Each challenge you survive strengthens your ability to handle the next one. Difficulty becomes familiar instead of frightening. You begin to trust that you can endure discomfort without giving up. This resilience is invaluable because success always demands it. There is no achievement without obstacles, and no lasting result without endurance. Persistence transforms obstacles from barriers into training grounds. Another critical aspect of patience is faith in compounding. Small actions repeated over time produce massive results, but only if you allow time to work. Improvement is not linear, it accelerates. The first steps produce little visible change, but momentum builds. Those who quit early never experience the curve, where effort begins to multiply. Patience keeps you moving until the turning point arrives. Persistence also clarifies identity. When you continue despite difficulty, you begin to see yourself as someone who finishes. This self-image is powerful. Finishers operate differently. They plan long-term, commit deeply, and tolerate discomfort. This identity shift reinforces every other principle on the map of achievement. Responsibility becomes natural. Discipline becomes routine. Growth becomes a lifestyle. Persistence ties everything together. Importantly, patience does not mean passivity. It means working with urgency while expecting results to take time. You act daily, improve continuously, and remain alert to opportunity without demanding immediate rewards. This balance keeps effort high and frustration low. You are fully engaged without being emotionally dependent on quick outcomes. In the end, patience and persistence are what turn principles into proof. Many people start the journey, few stay long enough to arrive. Those who do are not necessarily more talented or lucky. They are simply more willing to stay the course. When you respect time, trust the process, and refuse to quit, achievement becomes unavoidable. The map only works for those who keep walking. And finally, the destination is not just success, but becoming. Achievement is not only about what you get, it's about what you become in the process. Goals are valuable not just for their rewards, but for the person they force you to grow into. So study the map, follow it daily. Adjust when necessary, but never abandon it. Because when discipline meets purpose, when learning meets patience, and when responsibility meets action, you don't just find success,